Hello and welcome back, future scientists. I'm Mr. K with Mississippi Public Broadcasting, and we're going to continue our breakdown of the science portion of the ACT. So far, we've done the first two passages of our practice test. Today, we're going to do passage 3. We're going to take a look at it, see if we can find what the correct answer is, how did we get there, and even take some time to talk about why we got that question wrong. All of this is practice because when you take the ACT for real, these are things that are going to help you increase your time and increase your score when you're taking the real thing. So here's what we're doing today. Let's go through each question of passage 3, and I want you to work together with a small group. Y'all are going to justify the correct answer, explain why other answers are not correct, and explain why you may have gotten the question wrong. Again, it is okay to just say, I didn't have enough time and I had to guess, but you shouldn't be writing that for all of these. You did have time to answer a couple of them, and I want to know why you got them incorrect, and that's going to help you later on when you're taking this test for real. So let's go ahead and get into passage 3 and see what everybody came up with. What I'd like for y'all to do is y'all take some time in class right now and go through passage 3 yourself. We've already practiced doing it a couple times. Y'all go ahead and take some time to do that. When you're done when your small group is done, come back to me and I'll break it down with y'all. So take a couple minutes and see what y'all can come up with. All right, y'all, thank you so much. I'm sure that was eye-opening to a lot of us. Let's go ahead and look at these and see what's going on. So again, this is passage 3, and there are only 5 questions that go along with this passage. So let's take a look at question 15 and see what it says. 15 says, according to figure 1, as the nickel concentration in the nutrient solution increased, the average iron content of species M plants, those are our answer choices, but we should have gone with B, decreased only. This question checks your ability to analyze a figure. It asks you to observe the average iron content in species M plants as nickel concentration increases. You are being tested on the trend of the line with the shaded squares. As nickel concentration rises from 0 to 15, the average iron content steadily drops from 400 micrograms to 50 micrograms per gram. Therefore, the correct answer is B. So what's really going on here is that if you look at this figure 1, this graph, we need to identify which of these species is talking about species M. Looking at the key up here, you can see that the solid squares is species M. What's going on is that there is a steady trend here. It's a downward sloping line, and that means that there is an inverse relationship here, okay? What's happening is as the iron or zinc content is going up, the nickel concentration is going down. It decreased only as we increased iron or zinc content. So this is an inverse relationship, and letter B is going to be our best answer choice. Great work. Let's see what the next one says. This is 16. 16 reads, according to table 1, the species U plants that were fed the solution that had a pH of 6 and a nickel concentration of 10 had an average dry mass of. Okay, so this is telling us where to look. It tells us to look in table 1. It's also telling us what to find. It has 2 values that we're looking for. We want to find a pH of 6 and a nickel concentration of 10 micromoles. If we can find that on the table, that's going to be our correct answer. The correct answer here is G, 8.1 grams. This question assesses your ability to read data from a table. Solutions 5, 6, 7, and 8 all had a pH of 6. Among these, solution 7 had a nickel concentration of 10 micromoles per liter. For species U plant, solution 7 showed an average dry mass of 8.1 grams. Therefore, the correct answer is G. So this is a great example of, this is one of the easiest types of questions you get on the ACT. It's going to give you information to find, and you have to go find it. If you just were able to locate these 2 values in the question, that would have gotten you to the correct answer here. A lot of times when students get a question like this, they think, this is a trick question, I'm missing something. No, there are a handful of questions that just tests your ability to find something in a table. So if you get a question like this, it's not a trick question. Answer it quickly and move on, because that means that you're more likely to get it right because it's one of the easier ones. It's just going back to find it. Don't waste your time on an easy answer. Some questions like this just test your ability to find information, and this is an example of that. So hopefully most of us got this right, and hopefully we didn't spend a lot of time answering this question, okay? So let's go on to the next one. This is 17. 17 says, according to Table 1, species M plants that were fed a nutrient solution with which of the following combinations of pH and nickel concentration had the greatest average dry mass? Those are our different answer choices, but the correct answer is A, pH of 6 and a nickel concentration of 0 micromoles per liter. This question checks your ability to extract information from a table. By examining the average dry mass of species M plants, you can determine which solution had the greatest dry mass. Solution 1 and 5 had the highest average dry mass. Since solution 1 had a pH of 7, it doesn't match the answer choices provided. Solution 5 has a pH of 6 and a nickel concentration of 0 micromoles per liter. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Okay, so what's going on here is a quick way to kind of find this information is you can see all of our answer choices have a pH of 6. Right here in the answer choices, it's 6 and 5. And that means that anything that does not have a concentration of 6 and 5 can't be the right answer. So if you look at Table 1 over here, you can see that Solution 1 had one of the highest average dry mass of plants of species, right? That 33.9, that's in first place as far as the highest average dry mass. But none of our answer choices has a pH of 7, so that can't be the right answer. The other answer choice that is tied in first place with that 33.9 grams is Solution 5, and it does have a pH of 6, and so that is going to be our correct answer there. Okay, great. Here's number 18. This one says, according to Table 1 and Figure 1, the species M plants that were fed Solution 3 had an average zinc content of, and those are our answer choices. The correct answer here is H, 200 micrograms per gram. This question evaluates your ability to interpret both a table and a figure together. According to Table 1, the plants of species M's that were fed Solution 3 had a nickel concentration of 10 micromoles per liter. From Figure 1, we see that the average zinc content of species M plants is represented by empty squares. Okay? At a nickel concentration of 10 micromoles per liter, the average zinc content was 200 micrograms per gram. Therefore, the correct answer is H. So what's going on here is it's kind of telling us what to look at here. It says, according to Figure 1, the species M plants that were fed Solution 3. So that's where we should kind of lock in first. It's telling us right away, Table 1, Solution 3. So here's Table 1, here's Solution 3. It's telling us that it had a nickel concentration of 10 micromoles. And so then we take that information and we put it onto this table, and that's going to help us find the correct answer. Because when I find 10 micromoles of nickel concentration, and I'm looking at the correct key here, this is species M, that's the square line. When I go up, I can find that on the graph, and that's giving me the correct answer of 200 micrograms per gram. So that's kind of how we got this. It's kind of telling us where to look. We have to find that information on Table 1, and then we take that information on Table 1 and put it on here to Figure 1, and that's how we're able to find the correct answer. All right, let's keep this going. Here's 19. According to Table 1 and Figure 1, for the species M plants that were fed Solutions 1 through 4, what was the order of the nutrient solutions from the solution that resulted in the lowest average iron content to the solution that resulted in the highest average iron content? The correct answer here is D, 4, 3, 2, 1. This question evaluates your ability to synthesize information from both a table and a figure. The task is to order the solutions from lowest to highest iron content. So the final number in the sequence must represent the highest iron content. By examining figure 1, which shows the relationship between nickel concentration and iron content for species M, which is the shaded squares, the highest iron content was 400 micrograms per gram, and that occurs at a nickel concentration of 0 micromoles. In table 1, solution 1 has a nickel concentration of 0 micromoles. Therefore, the correct answer sequence is D. So here's something you can do to kind of save yourself some time on this type of question. It's asking us to put these in order from smallest to greatest, okay? So there's a couple of different ways we could go about this. We could take the time and try to find the least, and then the next most least, and then the most, and then the highest overall, but that might take a little bit more time. So here's something you can do to shave off a couple of seconds and give yourself more time on the test. When I'm looking at the answer choices, I can tell that the last number on all 4 of my answer choices are different numbers. A ends in 4, B ends in 2, C ends in 3, D ends in 1. So what I can really do here to save myself some time is if I can find which of these resulted in the most or the greatest, then I don't have to worry about any of the other numbers because I know the last one should correspond to which one had the highest average. Okay, and I know by looking at this and by looking at the table that it's asking me to, that solution 1 had the greatest average there. And because there's only one answer choice with the number 1 last, that tells me that D is the right answer and I don't have to worry about sorting them out. I just found which one had the highest and that gave me the correct answer. So that's going to save you some time later on. All right, y'all, here's the final question for passage 3. Question 20 says, according to table 1, compared to the average dry mass of species U plants that were fed solution 3, the average dry mass of species M plants that were fed solution 6 was approximately. The correct answer choice here is J, 3 times as great. This question evaluates your ability to compare values from the table. The average mass of species U plants fed solution 3 is 9.6 grams, while the average mass of species M plants that were fed solution 6 is 28.8 grams. By rounding these numbers, 9.6 up to 10 and 28.8 up to 30, we can see that the mass of species M plants is approximately 3 times as great as that of species U plants. Therefore, the ratio is 3. So again, y'all, it's telling us exactly where to look. If you go to the question, it tells us to look at these two numbers. It says U plants that were fed solution 3. So that's that top circle right here on the table. And then the next one says the average dry mass of species M plants that were fed solution 6. So that's this next circle here. So I'm only looking at these 2 numbers here. Again, you don't have a calculator on the science test, so it's okay to round to save yourself some time. You could get out a pen and a paper and do the division, but that's going to take too long. Let's just round it up a little bit and make the math easier. 9.6 is pretty close to 10. 28.8 is pretty close to 30. That makes the math a lot easier. 10 is going to go into 33 times, and one of my answer choices is 3 times as great. So that's a way you can save yourself maybe 30 seconds and have more time for a harder question down the road. It's okay to round a little bit. They know you don't have a calculator, so they're not going to give you a question that requires that exact of an answer. You can see here that these are pretty general answers. It's not like 2.5 times as great or anything like that. They're wanting the math on the science section to be done in your head so that you could kind of just round and that'll be okay. So y'all, thank you so much for following along with me today. That's all the questions from the 3rd passage. When I see y'all later on, we'll look at passage 4, 5, and 6 down the road. So thank you so much for making it, and I hope everybody has a great day.